Hello, this is Richard Nicol with Pittsburgh Modular Synthesizers here at Sweetwater to talk about our Foundation 3.1. This is the new version of the Foundation. It's got all the bells and whistles. This is a great modular synthesizer. What you get with this synthesizer is a fully patchable duophonic synth. So you have two big beefy analog oscillators tied with a dual LFO, so you have two LFOs. We have our noise module, you sample and hold, so you can do all those great sample and hold effects. The classic random bleepy bloopies. You also can do bit crushing effects with a sample and hold. Very cool to have in a system. Two separate mixers. The nice thing about our mixers is they also act as passive attenuators. What that means is you run an audio signal through it, you use it, then go out of the output of that channel. You can use it as a passive attenuator for the channel 1. You still have the other channels as a 2-channel mixer or a 3-channel mixer. So very cool, very useful module. It's going to get used in every patch. Two separate filters. We have our low-pass gate filter. This is a Sallen-key-based filter. What that essentially means is the Sallen-key core gives a real nice, warm, organic sound, but then the resonance is very aggressive, very biting. So you have a very modern-sounding, very aggressive-sounding filter. The second filter is, we call it simply the filter. It's a state variable style filter. What that means is you have your low pass out, your high pass, your band pass, your notch filter out, and it's going to give you a real creamy, real classic analog synth sound. So when you hear all those vintage synths, that's the sound you're going to get from this filter. Very, very cool filter and a great addition to this system. Because this is a modular system, you want something that may be a little stranger, or you can do a little bit more with than you can with a regular keyboard synth. So our envelopes are, we would call them West Coast style synth envelopes. What that really means is they're designed to offer a little bit more as far as flexibility. So these envelopes, they can function as an ADSR, they can also function as an attack decay, an attack release. They also cycle, so they'll run on their own and cycle, so you can use them as voltage controlled LFOs. They'll be an envelope follower, a slope generator. Incredibly useful modules. You get two of those, which just adds to what you could do with this guy. You have a dual VCA then at the end. The VCA is, for a modular synthesizer, is critical. It's what turns the sound on and off, or turns the CV on and off. You can never have enough VCAs. You have your dual VCA. And if you notice, I mentioned everything. There's a pair of everything. And there's a reason for that, because the synthesizer can be patched as a monster monophonic synth. You can patch it as a duophonic synth, where you have two completely separate voices. You can patch it as a duophonic synth where you patch the voices the same, and then you can play two notes at the same time. And like I said, you can patch it then. The third way would be as you basically patch a bass and a lead at the same time, where you play the keyboard with one hand, you play the bass, one hand with the lead, or you use your DAW to drive it. The brains behind this is our new MIDI 3 module. The great thing about the MIDI 3 is it has every keyboard response you could possibly want. If you want last note priority, first note priority, duophonic, it has a fantastic arpeggiator section. That's what we were listening to on the play-in. The arpeggiator section has a bunch of random modes, a bunch of random gate modes. It also has the standard arpeggiator responses that you would expect. All in all, you have a system here that's going to give you everything you need to not only start a modular synthesizer, but this is everything you need to have a fully functional modular synthesizer. This is the best way to use synthesis. It doesn't work without any patch cables, but that's sort of the beauty of it. Once you start patching around, you start trying and experimenting with things, you realize that without a patch cable, a synthesizer, it doesn't have the same feel to it. You can't do as much with it. So everything is here. You can see exactly what's going on. All the knobs are one knob per function, so this knob is always going to be the filter cutoff. This knob is always going to be the filter cutoff. Where they're pointed is exactly where they're going to be. It's a great sounding synth. The variety of sounds you can get out of this thing is amazing. And once you start patching with it, you never go back. So that's the Foundation 3.1 from Pittsburgh Modular. If you have any questions about this synthesizer or any other Pittsburgh Modular synthesizers, be sure to contact your Sweetwater sales engineer. Thank you very much.